What if the people you believed you understood were quietly carrying an unseen reality for many years, hidden beneath layers of recognition, expectation, and public perception? Behind the glow of admiration and achievement, some individuals were navigating an inner journey far more complex than the world ever imagined, and those private transformations reshaped the course of their lives in profound ways. For many who grew up in earlier generations, the idea of personal identity can feel layered, unfamiliar, or difficult to fully grasp. Yet these lived experiences open a window into the human condition itself, stories shaped by reflection, resilience, and the search for authenticity against the pressure of external definitions. Today, we will step into a collection of deeply personal paths, explore unexpected moments of change, and trace the subtle turning points that reveal how identity can evolve over time. By the end, one final account may leave you rethinking everything from a new perspective. Fallon Fox is often discussed as a pioneering figure in mixed martial arts, not only for her presence in the sport but also for her role in broader conversations about identity and inclusion in athletics. Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, she has spoken in interviews about early feelings of difference and a sense of not fully aligning with the expectations around her. Like many people navigating questions of identity, those experiences were shaped by limited awareness and understanding in her surroundings at the time, which often led to feelings of isolation and inner uncertainty. Over time, her path toward self-understanding became intertwined with her athletic development, as she pursued mixed martial arts and worked to establish herself in a demanding competitive environment. Her story is frequently referenced in discussions about how sports, identity, and evolving social perspectives intersect, highlighting the complexity of personal journeys within highly visible public arenas. Her relationship with her family was, at times, marked by distance and difficulty, adding emotional weight to an already complex personal journey. These experiences contributed to the broader challenges she faced while navigating identity and life changes in the public eye. After her transition, Fallon Fox became one of the first openly transgender women to compete in professional MMA, drawing significant attention within the sport. Her participation quickly became a focal point in wider discussions about fairness, inclusion, and evolving standards in competitive athletics. While some observers viewed her presence as a milestone for representation and courage, others raised questions that fueled intense public debate around rules and equity in sports categories. Amid this scrutiny, she continued to pursue her career path, remaining committed to competition and to being present in a highly visible and often contested space within modern athletics. She continued to train, compete, and speak openly about her experiences, maintaining a strong commitment to her path in the sport despite ongoing public attention and debate. Through her presence in competition, Fallon Fox became part of a broader and evolving conversation about how modern athletics defines inclusion, opportunity, and fairness. Her time in MMA helped draw greater visibility to issues that had previously received limited mainstream attention, placing them at the center of national discussion. Beyond records and results, her journey is often viewed as part of a wider cultural dialogue, one that extends beyond sport into questions of identity, recognition, and social understanding. Ultimately, her story is frequently framed not only through competition, but also through its role in encouraging more nuanced and thoughtful conversations about how society approaches difference, belonging, and respect in shared spaces. When Sonny and Cher welcomed their child, Chastity, in 1969, they could not have foreseen the complex path that would gradually unfold over the years. Growing up in an environment shaped by visibility and public attention, Chastity often appeared composed and self-assured on the surface. Yet beneath that exterior, there was a quieter inner process taking shape, an ongoing search for personal understanding and identity. As time passed, questions about self-perception and inner alignment became more present, creating moments of reflection and emotional complexity throughout adolescence and early adulthood. This period was marked by a subtle but persistent feeling of disconnect, as the journey toward self-definition slowly began to take form. For many years, Chastity tried to align with the expectations placed around him, even as an internal unease continued to surface in quiet but persistent ways. By the late 2000s, after a long period of reflection marked by doubt, fear, and the pressure of public observation, a pivotal decision gradually took shape. In time, he stepped forward into a new chapter of life, embracing the name Chazbono as part of a deeper effort to live in greater harmony with his sense of self. This shift was not sudden, but the outcome of years of inner questioning and careful consideration. Around the age of 40, he began the process of personal transition, supported by professional care and personal commitment to change. Looking back on earlier images from that period can still carry emotional weight, as they reflect a version of life tied to a different stage of understanding and identity. Over time, he gradually began to experience a deeper sense of stability, confidence, and personal clarity in his daily life. In the years that followed, Chazbono emerged as a visible advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, using his platform to share perspectives on identity, acceptance, and personal truth. He also continued his work in entertainment, including appearances in productions such as American Horror Story, further expanding his presence in acting. This journey was also one of adjustment for his mother, Cher. She has spoken openly about how understanding took time, especially in the early stages, but also how her bond with her child remained rooted in enduring care and support. Over the years, that relationship has reflected a process of learning, acceptance, and continued connection through changing circumstances. Before the world came to know the model later recognized as Andrea Pitch, the fashion industry first encountered her under the name Andre Pitch. Even in early appearances within menswear modeling, she drew attention for a striking and androgynous presence, carrying a rare balance of strength and softness that translated naturally into the language of high fashion. This distinctive quality allowed her to stand apart, gradually earning recognition in competitive modeling circles. Behind the growing visibility, however, there was a more private and complex inner journey connected to identity and self-understanding. Born in Bosnia and Herzegovina and later raised in Australia, she moved through environments where traditional expectations around gender often felt firmly defined. Within that setting, her personal experience unfolded quietly over time, shaped by reflection, adaptation, and the ongoing search for alignment between inner identity and outward expression. From an early age, she found herself naturally drawn toward expressions and interests that did not always align with the expectations placed around her. As she entered her teenage years, her distinctive appearance became a paradoxical experience, on one hand creating opportunities within the fashion world, and on the other exposing her to misunderstanding and social friction in everyday life. Over time, fashion evolved into a kind of sanctuary, a place where her androgynous presence was not questioned but instead appreciated as part of artistic expression. In that space, she began to see identity through a more fluid and creative lens, where uniqueness could be translated into strength. Yet even with growing professional recognition, there remained an internal dialogue that success alone could not quiet. By around 2014, a deeper need for personal authenticity began to rise more clearly, marking the beginning of a significant turning point in her life's journey. Andrea ultimately chose to move forward with her transition, with a clear understanding that such a decision could reshape both her personal life and professional trajectory. She later reflected on the process as one that unfolded with care and intention, supported by structured psychological guidance and appropriate medical care, allowing each step to be approached with patience rather than urgency. Following this transition, her career did not fade but instead entered a new phase of visibility and recognition. She reached notable milestones within the fashion industry, becoming one of the early openly transgender models to be featured by major publications and to appear on widely circulated magazine covers, including GQ Portugal. Her continued presence in high-profile editorial work marked a shift in representation within fashion media. Overall, her journey is often viewed as a broader reflection on perseverance, authenticity, and the evolving space for identity within creative industries, showing how personal truth and professional achievement can, over time, move forward together. Caitlyn Jenner's journey from Bruce Jenner to the person she is known as today is often viewed as a story of personal authenticity and self-understanding. Before this shift became widely known, Caitlyn Jenner had already established a legendary place in sports history, winning the gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Montreal Olympic Games and becoming a global symbol of discipline and peak athletic performance. Yet behind the public image of success and achievement, there was also a quieter, more private inner experience that unfolded over many years. In later reflections, Caitlyn has spoken about early feelings of disconnect and moments of curiosity around gender expression, experienced in a time when such topics were far less visible or openly discussed. These early impressions gradually became part of a longer personal journey toward understanding identity and living more truthfully, shaped by changing times and growing awareness. To navigate this inner tension, Bruce Jenner at the time turned strongly toward athletics, channeling focus and discipline into competition as a way of structure and escape. Even at the peak of international recognition, however, the internal questions about identity did not fully disappear, remaining present in quieter, more personal moments over many years. In her private life, Caitlyn built a family and experienced long-term relationships, becoming a father and husband. Her earlier marriages eventually ended in divorce, and her later marriage to Kris Jenner brought renewed public attention, particularly through the reality series Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Despite outward success, visibility, and achievement, the deeper questions of self-understanding continued to exist beneath the surface for decades, gradually shaping the next chapter of her personal journey. At the age of 65, Caitlyn chose to share her transition publicly, marking a defining moment in her lifelong journey towards self-understanding. While the announcement initially came as a profound shift for her family, over time it was met with growing acceptance, compassion, and continued connection. In 2015, she introduced herself to the world on the cover of Vanity Fair, an event that sparked broad public discussion about visibility, identity, and personal truth in modern society. Her path from Olympic champion to a public figure of transformation is often viewed as a reminder that identity can unfold across an entire lifetime. Rather than representing a loss of the past, her story is frequently understood as an ongoing evolution, one shaped by reflection, courage, and the pursuit of living in alignment with one's authentic self. Laverne Cox has become a widely recognized voice in the conversation around transgender visibility and social understanding. Many first became aware of her through her acclaimed performance as Sophia Bursette in the series Orange is the New Black, a role that brought depth and humanity to a character navigating complex realities within a prison system. Long before her public recognition, her path was shaped by a personal journey of identity, resilience, and persistence. Born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, she grew up within a cultural environment where expectations around gender and expression were often clearly defined. From an early age, she experienced a quiet sense of difference, which gradually became part of a longer process of self-reflection and understanding as she moved through childhood and adolescence. She often found herself naturally drawn to forms of expression that were considered outside the expectations placed on her at the time. In her younger years, this difference sometimes led to misunderstanding and social pressure, experiences that were difficult yet formative in shaping her resilience and inner clarity. One of her earliest and most meaningful passions was dance, which became a space of freedom, discipline, and emotional release. Through movement, she discovered a way to translate inner experience into expression, even when words were not enough. Despite the obstacles she encountered, she continued to pursue this path with determination and focus. Eventually, she made the significant decision to leave Alabama for New York City, seeking an environment where artistic ambition and personal growth could coexist more freely. That transition into a new city marked an important turning point, opening the door to broader opportunities in the arts while also supporting her continued journey of self-discovery and identity formation. Her major breakthrough came with her role as Sophia Bursett, a character that brought rare and meaningful transgender representation to a global audience. Through this performance, Laverne Cox demonstrated not only her artistic depth, but also helped bring greater emotional understanding to stories that had long been underrepresented in mainstream media. Beyond her work in acting, she has continued to be an active voice for equality, inclusion, and broader social awareness. She frequently emphasizes the importance of visibility, dignity, and self-acceptance, encouraging conversations that challenge outdated perceptions and support greater empathy. In interviews and public speaking, she has shared affirming messages about identity and self-worth, including the idea that embracing oneself is a powerful and transformative act. Her journey is often seen as an example of how authenticity, persistence, and creative expression can contribute to cultural change, showing that personal truth, when expressed with courage, can resonate far beyond individual experience and inspire wider understanding. Jazz Jennings has become a widely recognized figure in discussions about transgender identity, especially in relation to childhood experiences and early self-awareness. She first came to national attention at a very young age through a televised interview with journalist Barbara Walters, where she spoke openly about her understanding of herself and her identity. From early childhood, she demonstrated a consistent and clear sense of self-expression. In family settings, she would often gently but firmly correct how she was referred to, reflecting an early confidence in how she understood her own identity. These moments became part of a broader public conversation about how identity can emerge and be expressed at different stages of life. Over time, her visibility grew as she and her family shared aspects of her journey with the public, contributing to wider awareness and discussion about gender identity, childhood development, and the importance of support systems in personal growth. Unlike many individuals who face misunderstanding or rejection, Jazz Jennings was supported by a family who played an active role in affirming her sense of identity and helping her navigate early life experiences with greater stability. This supportive environment contributed to a foundation of confidence and emotional security as she grew up. As she got older, she chose to share more of her personal journey with the public, allowing her experiences to become part of a wider conversation. Through the TLC reality series I Am Jazz, audiences were given a closer look into her daily life, including both the challenges she faced and the moments of growth and resilience along the way. The series contributed to increased awareness of transgender youth experiences and highlighted the importance of understanding, communication, and family support in shaping a person's ability to navigate identity and personal development. In 2014, Jazz Jennings was recognized by Time magazine as one of the most influential teens, highlighting the significant cultural impact she had already made at a young age. Beyond her presence in television and media, she has continued to develop into a public advocate, using her platform to encourage openness, self-acceptance, and understanding. Through interviews, public appearances, and advocacy work, she often speaks about the idea that identity is something rooted in inner understanding rather than external definition. Her message consistently emphasizes the importance of listening to oneself while also fostering empathy toward others. Overall, her journey is frequently viewed as an example of how visibility, support, and acceptance, especially within families and close relationships, can play a meaningful role in helping individuals grow with confidence and a sense of belonging. Carmen Carrera first gained public attention as a contestant on Season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, where her strong stage presence, confidence, and expressive style quickly made her a memorable figure to audiences. While the show introduced her to a wide platform, it represented only the early stage of a longer and more personal evolution beyond performance and entertainment. After her time on the program, she moved forward into a deeper phase of self-exploration and transition, choosing to align her public identity more closely with her lived experience as a transgender woman. This shift marked an important turning point, not just in her personal life, but also in how she was perceived within broader cultural and media spaces. Over time, her visibility contributed to wider discussions about identity, representation, and the changing landscape of entertainment, where personal narratives increasingly intersect with public understanding and social awareness. Her journey also came with significant challenges. As a public figure, Carmen Carrera experienced periods of scrutiny, misunderstanding, and public criticism that often accompany visibility in highly debated social topics. Despite this, she maintained a steady commitment to presenting herself authentically and continuing her personal and professional path with clarity. Over time, she has described her broader purpose as extending beyond individual expression, focusing instead on fostering, understanding, and encouraging more informed perspectives about transgender experiences. In various public statements, she has emphasized the importance of respectful language and representation, particularly within media spaces where portrayals can shape public perception. One widely discussed moment in her public advocacy came when she voiced concerns about certain language and framing used in entertainment contexts, including elements connected to RuPaul's Drag Race, which she felt contributed to misunderstandings about transgender identities. Her comments became part of a larger conversation about how media and culture evolve in their depiction of gender diversity. Her willingness to speak openly about these issues reflected a broader commitment to accountability, visibility, and the pursuit of more respectful representation in media and culture. Over time, Carmen Carrera expanded her work beyond television into the fashion industry, building a career as a model featured in international runway shows and major editorial campaigns. Alongside her professional achievements, she has continued to engage in advocacy, using her public presence to encourage conversations about dignity, equality, and inclusion. Her work often intersects with discussions about how representation in entertainment and fashion can influence broader social understanding. Overall, her journey is frequently seen as a reflection of both individual transformation and wider cultural change, illustrating how personal visibility and open dialogue can contribute to a more informed and empathetic public perspective. Taken together, these stories form a broader reflection on courage, transformation, and the ongoing pursuit of authenticity across very different walks of life. Whether in entertainment, sports, fashion, or public advocacy, each individual faced moments of uncertainty, external pressure, and deeply personal reflection while navigating their own path forward. What connects these experiences is not a single outcome, but a shared process of confronting complexity and choosing to move toward a life that feels more aligned with inner understanding. Along the way, each journey intersected with public perception, cultural expectations, and evolving conversations about identity in modern society. For many people, especially those from earlier generations, these narratives can feel unfamiliar, shaped by decades of social change and shifting awareness. Yet at their core, they often center on universal themes: self-discovery, resilience, and the human desire to be understood. In that sense, these stories are less about any one label or category, and more about the broader evolution of how individuals and societies learn to listen, adapt, and grow over time. At their core, these stories are fundamentally human, centered on identity, family bonds, resilience, and the universal need to be seen, understood, and accepted. They also remind us how powerful compassion can be, especially when it comes from those closest to us, in helping people grow into a fuller sense of self. Ultimately, these lives illustrate that the journey toward authenticity is not bound by age or circumstance. It can begin early or unfold much later, but it always carries the same quiet truth. Understanding ourselves and others starts with patience, listening, and respect. Thank you for being here and following along. If you enjoyed this perspective, feel free to support the channel so you won't miss future stories. See you in the next one.